powers that be while keeping liberals in their place with conservative ideals and common sense solutions.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the Unleashed Opinion. We are live and worldwide once again.
That's right, baby. We got it. I turned this down. I know I did.
Apparently not. The thing says different.
Well, maybe I turned my mind down to the negative chapter.
As you can see, I got Chucklehead in the house
That's
with me.
right, baby. We're rocking. It's time to get at it.
Big thank you out to our men and women in the armed services, keeping us free and safe and protecting people around the world.
How could you not love them? How
We
could
do.
you be
We
one
do.
of those freaking chuckleheads that could say something about our military personnel?
Beats me. Beats me. Hey, big thanks to John for putting everything together for us.
Yeah. Flying in on the run from
right.
his own job. Trying to fix everything we've screwed up.
Glad we got away from that working business.
Yeah, no kidding. I suggest it to a lot of people out there. If you can retire.
Well, yeah, it's a good thing.
Big shout out to all of our law enforcement personnel out there. Everybody in the first responders, EMTs, and everybody in the Department of Corrections. Love you all, man.
You betcha. Our listeners out there,
What about them guys on the highway? Where's that at?
Route 125 in the garage out there.
Pack of freaks out there. Hello, Kim. Sorry about your car. That's usually the way things go. You get something paid off and slam, you get hit. There's old Mark V. Stevenson.
Really? Super.
Yeah.
All right.
Marky Mark and the Fun Bunch.
Hope our guys in Fulton County are taking a view of us this evening, tuning in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say something about it. We lost a couple people here the other day from the Department of Corrections. We just want everybody to know that our thoughts and prayers go out to you. A couple was traveling in their vehicle and at night and apparently got lost or something and went into the river. And unfortunately, they did not survive. They couldn't find the they're as lost as ever. They couldn't find the lady for a few days, but eventually they did find her with a sweep of the river. So our definite thoughts and prayers go out to was it Illinois River where the guy was from, I believe. And,
I believe. Yep.
And Western Illinois Correctional Center where the nurse was from. So our hearts go out to all of you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people from corrections that took their boats out last week and went out looking, and our hats off to them. When you go out and do something like that, it's a job you
don't want to do, but you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was listening to old Dale at the Elks last night, and he goes, "I'm glad we found her, but I'm definitely glad I wasn't the one that found her."
Yeah,
that's just not something that you want to see, and it's just such a tragic loss. It
really is.
Gosh darn. But anyway, that family that they did find her, so they're going to have some closure on this. So anyway, thoughts and prayers to all of them.
Absolutely. Hey, we got Dan Lenning and Brandy out there this evening too. All right.
What up, Dan-O?
Hey, what you got for something positive this evening?
Well, I tell you what, I got a couple things that are positive. Yeah, believe it or not, I've actually did some work 2 weeks in a row. I got all kinds of paperwork here in front of me.
That's crazy. I know.
Miracles do happen. Anyway, as you get older, people say you need to slow down and not do much, But I think all that does is make you even older. And anyway, got a guy here from Texas, apparently who is the oldest working man in Texas, just turned 101 years old and still drinks 2 Dr. Peppers a day.
Well.
Yeah, down in Dallas, considered to be the oldest man still working in Texas, Chester Hollingsworth celebrated his 101st birthday. This was on October 18th. Born in 1917.
Ooh.
Can you believe that?
Oh.
That is wild. He's a World War II veteran, so thank him for his service. Dallas entrepreneur and beloved friend and family man received a special birthday message from his company. Hollingsworth helped start what's now known as the Dallas Flooring Warehouse. He tried retiring twice before, but apparently kept coming back, and now spends 2 days a week working there.
All right.
Yeah, says he's a World War II veteran, and he says he just likes to be with people. He doesn't mind working. Born and raised on a farm near Greenville, Hollingsworth helped his family raise cotton. He said, we had a Model T. Boy, that's
Wow.
going back a ways, isn't
You
it?
ain't kidding.
And he said it was a terrible way to get around. I can only imagine how just bumpy that doggone thing was. He says, as a young man, he went to sign up for the Navy a day after Pearl Harbor was attacked. He eventually wound up out west. About a month later, got a notice in the mail with a train ticket to go to San Diego. Hollingsworth has had a storied life, no doubt, and he said the secret for him is a simple one. Dr. Pepper.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, baby. He said that's right. He drinks Dr. Pepper twice a day. Perhaps the real key for a long, healthy life and career is one he shared with all those at his birthday. If you can get a job where you love your job and love to go to work, that's what you want. There's no doubt about that. Everybody wants a job that they love.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen very often.
You know, that's fantastic. If you can still get out, well, get out and try to do things.
Sure.
You cannot sit in your house and get all stove up and expect to have
And become one with the couch. You can't do that.
yeah, you can't. I mean, unless there's something, really physically wrong with you that you can't get out and function in life. But don't sit around and do nothing. I've seen that take
It
its
doesn't
toll.
work out very well, does it?
It took its toll on my parents. I've seen it take its toll on other people. So, yeah, get out and do stuff.
Absolutely.
Hello, Loophole. Loophole DeHanus is out there.
Mm-hmm. Got Dave Campbell out there, too. All right.
Dirty Dave, baby. Bryce, send me some catfish fillets.
There you go, talking about food again, aren't you?
Why would you not?
Something else positive here. Several conservative comedians are taking their acts on the road for a national tour to bring the laughs and help break the left stranglehold of entertainment and comedy.
Whoa. What'd you say? Conservative comedians?
Conservative comedians.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The Deplorables tour. We're funny because we're right's what they said. Kicks off November 5th at the Houston Improv with more tour dates to follow. If you're used to comedy and comedians leaning to the left, well, we're leaning to the right, and it's going to be much more fun. Of course it is. Comedian sitcom writer Michael Loftus said on Fox and Friends the other day, the left has a stranglehold on entertainment, and we're going to fight out of this chokehold. We're kicking out of it. And Loftus will be joined by fellow conservative pro-president Trump comics Terrence K. Williams and Stephen McGrew, in addition to the Deplorables choir. And he says the tour fills a huge need. And he's absolutely right. I'm tired of bunch of these other clowns out there that, the one that really burns me is you see the commercials all the time, full frontal with Samantha Bee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't find her funny. I mean, regardless of my politics, I still don't find her funny at all. And the other thing is that your late night shows.
Oh, my gosh. They are so horrible.
If Trump wasn't president, what would they talk about? Because that's pretty much it.
And they suck.
Yeah.
They didn't like the old days of Johnny Carson. You could sit there for hours and watch Johnny Carson.
I've got some
and
on
the old
DVD.
guys. Oh my gosh, Sammy Davis Jr. and all that bunch. But yeah, that's what conservative Hollywood, conservative showmen need to start coming out.
Sure.
And piss on these other guys. Oh, if we do this, well, we're not going to. You know what? You got to start sticking your neck out.
Yeah, I understand if they're struggling and they're going out there and they're on the right, and
I understand.
They could be unemployed for a while, but
it's time for conservative America to start doing things and
let your voice be heard.
Absolutely, in a good way, in a good nonviolent way.
Absolutely. You got John Chubbuck out there, Stoker's out there. All
I
right.
used to work with John.
Did you?
And his wife. Kentucky Fried Chicken brethren.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I ate a couple buckets. If
Per hour? Per hour, maybe?
Well, And I do have another positive thing here. This is a little bit lengthy. Small town rallies in support of an American flag mural after an initial outcry. A local pizza shop in small town New York State came under fire for proposing an American flag mural on the side of its building. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
Unfortunately, I can't anymore. But apparently it brought the community together in a special way. Maria Lasante, she owns the La Bella Pizza Bistro. Man, I'd love to go there. In New Paltz.
Doubt.
Yeah. She proposed the American flag idea on a brick wall that was littered with graffiti. Well, that's a good thing. She didn't expect any pushback, but apparently she got some. Some people were offended. Can you believe that?
No, I really can't.
Douchebags.
I really cannot.
Yeah. Apparently, they're
If
offended
the
about-
flag offends you, you need to go someplace else.
and we'll take you. We'll give you a one-way ticket.
Absolutely.
Apparently, the mural is across from the middle school and would force kids to look at the American flag, which they call a symbol of hatred and oppression.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why everybody wants to come here? Because of the hatred and oppression
How
here?
about this 5,000 caravan that's coming right now?
Yeah.
Her friend Joey Garcia, a New York State corrections officer, go Corrections, an Army National Guard veteran. He organized an American flag appreciation walk to rally the community together and show their support for the flag, military, law enforcement, and the country. And he says the flag represents many things: freedom, compassion, strength, and pride, just to name a few. In my opinion, we live in the greatest country on earth. But lately, our flag seems like it's under attack, and he's right there. People today speak out against our flag and our country so much. I want to only point out that they feel is wrong with it. That's all they want to do. I understand and respect their right and their opinions, but I feel like those of us who do not feel that way have a voice too and deserve to be heard. So there's more to this. Like I said, it's a little bit lengthy. It's on our Facebook page. If you want to go check it out, it's a pretty good read. KFC, yeah. So, hey, hats off to these two. That is fantastic. Patriots, stand up for your freaking rights and don't let these freaking un-American pukes
Trample on
us.
yours.
Damn
Exactly.
right.
Something else positive here.
We got more positive.
Oh, you're going to love this one.
We're doing our homework.
Yes, we did. Comedian Amy Schumer said she will not.
I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
I think I just regurgitated.
Wow. Shoo. Said she will not appear in the Super Bowl commercials this year in solidarity with free agent NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick and other players participating in the national anthem protest against social injustice.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I felt bad for a second, but I'm over it now.
Yeah,
So, okay.
yeah, that's it.
Schumer explained her stance in a lengthy Instagram post amid reports that the pop star Rihanna had turned down an offer to perform during the Super Bowl halftime show in solidarity with Kaepernick, who has not appeared in the NFL game since 2016.
Because he sucks.
That's unfortunate. The 37-year-old comedian called on white NFL players to join protesters in kneeling during the anthem, arguing that players who abstain are complicit in systemic racism.
Sure they are.
You're an idiot. Because no, they're not. They're standing up for what they believe in. It's got
Absolutely.
nothing to do with racism. I personally told my reps I wouldn't do a Super Bowl commercial this year. I know it must sound like a privilege, a sacrifice, but it's all I got, Schumer wrote. Hitting the NFL with the advertisers is the only way to really hurt them. I don't think you not doing anything for the Super Bowl is going to hurt them too much. So.
Yeah.
It's unclear if Schumer had already received offers to appear in the Super Bowl. Let's go with no. During the game next February, she last appeared in the Super Bowl commercial in 2016 on behalf of Bud Light and an NFL advertiser. Advertisers paid an estimated $5 million for a 30-second commercial during last year's Super Bowl. The game earlier ranks as the most watched television program of the year, drawing more than 100 million viewers globally. I won't be watching again this year, so don't count me in on that number. Schumer isn't the first prominent voice to take aim at the NFL's advertisers over the anthem debate. Who said Schumer's a prominent voice?
Apparently, she's not prominent in the gym. I don't see her doing a whole lot of reps.
Maybe she's at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know.
What up, J-Ho?
In October 2017, Jamel Hill, then an ESPN anchor, called on the public to boycott NFL advertisers after Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said players who knelt during the anthem would face team discipline.
Jerry.
You know what? He's running a business.
Yeah, he is.
He's running a business, so...
An American business.
Yeah, exactly. You have the right to protest. We've talked about this several times, but not during the national anthem.
Negative.
You're
Negatory.
First off, you're on the clock. You're being paid, and I'm pretty sure I know where we worked at. If you were protesting and kneeling, we
That
would
wouldn't have
face
went
some
over
discipline.
well.
No, it wouldn't at all.
I know a few Marines would have probably
Oh boy,
took offense to that.
you'd have a very bad day, I'm afraid.
She's doing reps all right. Jennifer Horton, today's word of the day is moist. I'm sorry.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I like to antagonize.
You got Missy Rice out there too. Yes, you do. Missy Rice out there too. All right.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness.
Okay, where do you want to start at? Oh, by the way, you can call in at 217-909-4099.
My goodness, that dementia is going away, isn't it?
Not very fast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, we're real people, not actors. I've seen that on some of these commercials, so just want to throw that in
And
there.
we slept in Holiday Inn Express last night. Not really.
No. What you got over there next?
Hey, today is the 35th anniversary of the bombing in Beirut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a little clip on that. There was over 220 Marines, 18 Navy and Army personnel that were killed during this suicide bombing, and
Wow.
I think we just got a little clip here to commemorate that.
In 1982, the Lebanese government requested the United States to establish a military presence in Lebanon. The U.S. served as a peacekeeping force in the conflict between Muslim and Christian groups. The 24th Marine Amphibious Unit, stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, received orders to Beirut, Lebanon on March 24, 1983. U.S. forces provided a degree of stability, but diplomatic attempts didn't achieve a basis for a lasting agreement. Muslim groups soon distinguished the Marines as enemies. On October 23, 1983, a terrorist-driven truck loaded with explosives destroyed a 1st Battalion, 8th Marine Regiment barracks, killing 241 Marines, sailors, and soldiers. Construction of the Beirut Memorial began in May of 1986 in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and was completed October 23, 1986. Friends and families of the deceased, military personnel, and the local community gather annually for a ceremony at the memorial, paying respect to the 241 service members who tragically passed 35 years ago.
Man, time flies.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
And we know some people are there at the
Yeah.
time too. So
Absolutely. Hey, we love our military personnel. I just strongly suggest to anybody who wants to say anything negative about our military personnel, don't do it around us, please. We might not take kindly to that.
well, you know, I understand you may disagree with the operations
Sure.
they may be on, but that's not up to our personnel.
No, they're doing what their country wants them to do.
Right.
You know, just like Vietnam. I'm sure there's a lot of guys didn't want to go to Vietnam, but they did it anyway.
Yep.
You know,
And they serve their country, so you know what? It was a bad deal all the way around.
Sure
but they
it was.
served their country. Their country called upon them, and they went.
you
So
know, the more I check in on the Vietnam War, as they want to say a conflict, but it was a war. The more I understand it, we were about this close from winning that doggone thing.
and then politics got involved.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Yeah. I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to all of our military personnel, Vietnam veterans that came home and got spit on and everything like that, hey, we love all of you.
Absolutely. You got Eddie Durrell and Dave Vetter out there this evening too. All right. Let's see. Here we go. I got an article here. This is from today, actually, from Fox News. A New Hampshire judge has blocked a law in his state that will require proof of residency when registering to vote. What? Are you kidding me?
my God.
So you people that are out there screaming about the Russian involvement in the 2016 election, you don't want people to prove that they live there to vote. So this is what I'm hearing here, that it's okay when your side does it, but if you suspect the other side has got something going on, that's all wrong. Senate Bill 3 calls for would-be voters to provide proof of residency other than the voter affidavit they're required to sign, according to New Hampshire union leader. So you can sign this thing, and if you don't live there or if you're an illegal, you can sign this thing because you really don't give a crap if you're being truthful or not, because what's going to happen to you? Nothing, because these people don't care.
I wonder what our Constitution says about that.
I don't know, but it ought to say something. It should say something if it doesn't. Judge Kenneth Brown suspended the implementation of the bill, writing in his decision that it threatens to disenfranchise an individual's right to vote. No, it doesn't. No, it
doesn't.
And how many times you have to have an ID to go into places or rent a video so that these people know who you are and where to find you at in case you do something stupid with
Dude,
their
you got to
property.
have a driver's license when you go to the freaking Walmart anymore so they can punch buttons in there for you.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, some of the videos that you buy in there, purchased the Blues Brothers a while back,
And why wouldn't you?
Well, I did, but
classic.
They ID'd me. I thought, what's wrong with you people? There's nothing in here. I mean, they were on a mission from God. I mean,
Talk to the penguin.
SB3's forms are drafted in a manner that makes them confusing, hard to navigate and comply with, and difficult to complete in a timely manner. I'm sure we can find some help for you to take care of this. The bill was signed into law last year by Governor Chris Sununu, who said the ruling was not unexpected. SB 3 is a modest change to our election laws. It does nothing more than ensure that all those who register to vote present valid identification. And again, why wouldn't you? Yes, I'm confident that SB 3 will ultimately be upheld. Brown also wrote in his decision that the longer voter registration takes under the SB 3 law, the more drastic the increase in wait times would be. Okay.
I wonder what lefties would say if we decided that, hey, we shouldn't have to have a valid ID or a FOID card or anything like that to purchase a firearm.
Oh, my God.
That's
in the Constitution.
You think the lid would blow off?
And see, the right to keep and bear arms is in the Constitution.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
The union leader also reported that the suit to block the law was filed last year by multiple entities, the New Hampshire Democrat Party, the League of Women Voters of New Hampshire, and voters who claim the new registration requirements are onerous and unnecessary obstacle to exercise their constitutional right. Well, I disagree.
Yeah, that's probably why they want these 5,000 migrants to come across the border so they can vote without having an ID.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, I believe, about, in local elections, places like California and New York, it's legal for illegals to vote in the local elections.
Well, it's just a matter of time before they come up to the general elections.
Absolutely. It's just one step closer. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. They're going to get there. And then the other part of it was, we did an article here a while back, that in New York they go to Rikers Island Prison to talk to the people who have not been convicted but can't bond out either, to get them to register to vote.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty sad when your party has to depend on illegals and people who are incarcerated.
Well, don't forget about the people that are in cemeteries. They tend
Chicago,
to vote on a regular basis somehow, not by thumbprint.
No.
I think we need to build that wall, run it all the way up the left coast, right up to the top of California. So, why not?
You know what? I've got a couple of videos of.
You've got videos.
I do.
Steve's got videos.
Yeah. Hey, Nicole's out there. Dave Jameson's out there. All right.
Not the ones you watch at home.
Kevin
This is a
Perry
family-oriented show.
Yeah, wrong videos.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So remember President Barack Hussein Obama?
Unfortunately.
The guy who could walk on water, could do no wrong. Now, there's a video of him when he was an Illinois senator. Let's see what he's got to say about illegals coming to the country.
Oh, not this again.
Mm-hmm.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law.
You can't say that.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
Oh, how things change.
Yeah, so it's okay when he says it.
It's okay when he says it. Chuck Schumer says it. Dianne Feinstein says it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Democratic debacle, Bill Clinton, they all said it.
Absolutely.
But,
and Hillary,
amazingly,
too. And Hillary, too.
25 years later, yeah, let them in.
Sure. And now
We need the votes.
And now we got a little clip of Nancy Pelosi talking about the wall.
Do we have to look at her again?
It's just a short clip. It won't be
Thank
very
God.
long. Just maybe close one eye or something. Let's take a look at what Nancy's got to say here.
Go, Nancy.
Come through unsuspected. There are many things about border protection, and if there's some physical structure, so be it, but a 2,000-mile wall that costs $25 billion, which, by the way, the Mexicans are not paying for, please. And by the way, if you know anything about the region, it's a community with a border going through it. Families go back and forth, children go to school, people buy their groceries,
Sure.
They visit family and friends.
Bring drugs across the border.
To put a wall there is to, in my view, ineffective, too expensive, almost immoral.
It's immoral?
Immoral.
I think we need to build a wall just to find out how well it works. You know, just like passing the healthcare law to find out what's in it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. But you know what? You got a caravan of, I think it's up to 7,000 people coming up here now. And I don't...
Dude, just think of the amount of money our government frickin' wastes anyway.
Oh,
you know?
And she's from California. She knows how to waste money.
Her and old Maxine Waters.
Yeah, and you're right. The hypocrisy is crazy, but it's immoral to build a wall to keep your country secure. How is that immoral?
Well,
it's not.
Let's face it, Steve. She's a moron.
Well, couldn't said it better myself.
Oh my gosh. Hey, up in Chicago.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, again, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they must be getting better up there about these shootings. I haven't heard anything for a while. I doubt it. But anyway, a 34-year-old Chicago man is in federal custody. He was arrested Wednesday and charged with conspiring to provide material to support, wait for it, ISIS via social media.
Well,
Iraqi-born Ashraf al-Safu. Oh, boy.
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows any different
No,
anyway.
I am
so-
confused. Using social media to spread propaganda supporting violent jihad, to recruit operatives, and to encourage others to carry out terrorist attacks. This was according to the Justice Department. I wonder if any of these guys are trying to cross the border right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sauf also goes by, oh my gosh, Abu al-Abbas al-Iraqi. Okay. He was in court on Friday before the U.S. Magistrate Judge M. David Weissman was ordered held without bond and be detained in federal custody. His next hearing is October 25th, a couple days coming up. He relocated to the U.S. in 2008. The complaint states that he had been employed as a web developer by the Chicago software company Blue Bolt Solutions. U.S. Attorney Lausch said the charge demonstrates that in order to keep our community safe, law enforcement will vigorously pursue those who provide material support. Well, I would sure as hell hope so. In whatever form, to designated foreign terrorist organizations. Today's arrest is a testament to the commitment and dedication of our prosecutors and law enforcement partners who stand watch over our country. Well, that is fantastic. I'm glad they got this freaking goofball, and I hope they catch like 20... Actually, I hope they don't have to catch anybody. I hope they're not even freaking here.
Well, you know they are.
Yeah. Well, they come across the border, and they come across our northern border, like I believe the terrorists that bombed the World Trade Center with airplanes.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Damn, those borders. Keep them open.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. You see how well it's working in Europe. So. We got Dale Frank out there. Brett's out there this evening, too. All right.
Dale, you frickin' kill me.
You remember Kamala Harris from the Kavanaugh hearings?
Yeah.
Okay, Senator Kamala Harris, Democrat from California, go figure, is proposing a new tax credit of up to $500 a month or $6,000 a year for families earning less than $100,000 a year, as Democrats search for a counter message to Trump's tax cuts ahead of the November midterm elections and 2020 presidential election. Okay, so if you're going to give people $6,000 a year, where do you get that money? Because I'm pretty sure California's broke, and we
What?
Yeah, but they got. But Governor Moonbeam wants to put his own satellite up there for climate change stuff like that, and offer.
Governor Moonbeam. God.
They also want to provide health care for all illegals that come to there because they claim they got billions of dollars in their checking account. But it sounds like some pretty creative.
Hey, don't
book work
quote
to
me on this, but I think Governor Moonbeam also was one of those who said back in the day, talking against illegal immigration.
Oh.
Now, I'd have to go find that clip again, but I'm pretty sure he did.
I'll bet you're right. Yeah, Dave, you're right. They are here. Anyway, Harris, who is widely seen as a likely 2020 Democratic presidential contender, is proposing legislation that offers $6,000 to families earning under $100,000 a year and $3,000 a year for single filers earning under $50,000. Harris's proposal is that the money could be accessed either at the end of the year or in monthly chunks up to $500 a month. Harris's office cited a survey that said the majority of Americans don't have enough cash on hand to cover an unexpected expense like rent increase or medical bills. No kidding.
And
even those of us working don't have.
it might get you a vote.
Whoa, that's crazy. You mean buying votes with the tax system?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Oh, boy. Americans are working harder than ever, but stagnant wages mean they can't keep up with cost of living increases, Harris said in a statement. We should put money back in the pockets of American families to address rising costs of child care, housing, tuition, and other expenses. Our tax code should reflect our values, and instead of more tax breaks for the top 1% in corporations, we should be lifting up millions of American families. How about you revamp your tax code where you don't tax people so much and you don't have to give money back to them? Because that means you're in control of it, and you people in California aren't really good at controlling money.
No,
So
you're pretty damn stupid, actually.
Harris is.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to read some more. Go ahead.
No, they had a chance to give people money during the first bailout. They had it down to the penny what every taxpayer in the country, 18 years of age and older, could have gotten. I mean, I think it was at least 5 figures. They failed to do that.
Was that they spent on those shovel-ready jobs we heard about that weren't so shovel-ready?
jobs. I think that started with Bush and his last deal. But go for 26.
Yes.
What up, Hen?
Corey Wombles and Steve Ashcraft's out there too. All right. Harris's proposal is an example of the balance Democrats will have to find in proposing countermeasures to Trump's tax cuts, which are unpopular with Democrats. Of course it is, because you can't control the money unless you get it first. But are seen by Republicans as impetus behind healthy state of the U.S. economy. Trump has repeatedly warned voters that Democrats want to raise taxes ahead of the November midterms and reverse the gains of the economy under his presidency. It's unclear how much the credit would cost and how it would be funded. Is that like one of those things we have to pass the bill so we can see what's in it? It's a lot like that.
It is from California, no doubt.
Yeah, so it's unclear how much the credit would cost and how it would be. Harris's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Fox News The Atlantic, which first reported on Harris's plan, estimated it would cost approximately $200 billion a year, while Politico reported that it would be financed by repealing parts of the Trump's tax cuts. So that means they got to take more money away so they can give it back,
Sure,
right? Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That benefit those who earn more than $100,000 a year, as well as new bank tax on institutions with more than $50 million in assets. The outlets also noted that it would increase the number of Americans who are effectively excused from paying income taxes, currently around 44%. The bill would likely be dead on arrival in the House and Senate in its current makeup. But, yeah, so we're going to take some more money from the top so we can give it to the others. So here again, we're bringing the top down rather than bringing the bottom up.
Now, wait a minute. According to President Trump, he said his administration and the Republican Party are working to introduce a major 10% tax cut for middle-class Americans around the beginning of November. He said they're putting in a resolution sometime in the next week or a week and a half or 2 weeks. We're giving a middle-income tax reduction of about 10%. We're doing it now for middle-income people. That's on top of the tax decrease that we've already given. Said in a statement on Tuesday, the House Ways and Means Committee Rep Chair Kevin Brady Bunch, Republican from Texas, confirmed he was working with the administration on that measure. The president said on Saturday he was hoping to introduce the tax cuts around the beginning of November, though he noted on Monday that the new tax resolution was unlikely to be voted on before the midterm elections since Congress is out of session. Said that while previous tax cuts benefited both the middle and business, the next plan would focus solely on helping middle-income Americans. That's me. One potential strategy being discussed by the administration is holding a symbolic vote in Congress, which would signal its intent to implement the new tax cut in the future. That plan, first reported by the Washington Post, is one of several options being considered. The House of Representatives voted to advance a new tax package in September. That bill was known as Tax Cuts 2.0. It would make some parts of the initial round of tax cuts, known as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, permanent. Introduce a number of provisions to help Americans save more and expend tax breaks for startup businesses. Republican congressional leadership expressed doubt that the bill would pass before the midterms because it was unlikely to win any Democratic votes in the Senate.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure that. That just blows me away right there. I mean, you want to go out there and vote for people who don't want to give you any tax breaks, who want to continue to tax your ass to frickin' death.
So they can control your money and buy your votes with it. So.
My God.
Yeah, it's great. It's not new. It's not new.
Yeah, this isn't the Democratic Party of Roosevelt and Harry Truman, I can guarantee you that. Or former President Ronald Reagan, who was a Democrat at one time.
That's right.
Until just never mind. It'll just get me all work up my blood pressure.
We got Corey Wombles out there, Scott Zimmerman.
Wombles.
Mm-hmm. And Dale says they should go play the lotto. Yeah, you probably have a better chance of getting some money playing the lotto than you would getting any money back from California.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you said, hey, I'm going to vote for you. Give me some cash.
Hey, Governor Moonbeam, let's go smoke some hash.
Wow. Okay, here's an article from the Daily Caller. It says
I thought he was going to say the Daily Planet.
No. No. Most people learn growing up that drinking milk is good for growth and bone development, but not everyone believes that. According to animal rights activist group PETA, their Twitter page, drinking milk is a symbol of white supremacy.
Wait a minute. You said PETA. Is that the PETA that we like? People eating tasty animals?
No, it's the other one.
Shit.
No, because, see, I mean, they're already blaming drinking milk on white supremacy. So
Really?
Yeah.
What if you drink chocolate milk?
Well, they hadn't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
PETA has long claimed that they are nonpartisan and just want to help animals. So while the link between dairy products and white supremacy seems confusing at first, the animal rights organization's tweet is meant to encourage people to want to stop consuming milk. PETA opposes the production and consumption of milk because they believe that the act of milking a cow is abusive and strips the animal of its dignity. Are you flipping kidding me?
Oh, my teats. Does a cow have dignity?
They've never said.
One squirt.
I've never asked one, to be quite honest. But why do they think that these animals are put on this earth? They don't know.
They probably think they turn into their uncle or something like that.
There's some of those out there too. The organization also claims to be standing with white supremacists with their bold stance because, according to PETA, white supremacists drink milk in an effort to mock lactose intolerant minorities. Well, no.
So
what?
There aren't any lactose intolerant white people?
Not according to PETA. I want to know what kind of drugs these people are on to come up with this crap, because I really don't want any. Jesus, if it makes you that stupid.
Well, there you go.
So while drinking milk may make you physically stronger and healthier, one dairy's consumption could be linked to white supremacy. PETA is not alone in commenting on this connection. The New York Times just reported, and is not the only outlet to do so, that white supremacists are obsessed with consuming cow's milk because doing so shows that they aren't lactose intolerant as those of many other races are. How stupid is that? But wait, that's not all.
Oh, boy.
Get this.
If you're going to...
That was from the Daily Caller. This is from the Blaze.
Going to mess with the cow, you're going to get the... Well, I guess that doesn't work, but go ahead.
Read Dale's comment.
I don't want to read Dale's comment. I don't know, brown cow.
A college student in California State University, Long Beach, wrote an op-ed in her school's newspaper Monday claiming that milk is a symbol of racism and white nationalism. Samantha Diaz, a staff writer for the Daily 49er, said that she believes her fellow millennials are being brainwashed thinking milk is merely a drink people consume to strengthen their bones. But Diaz contends milk is actually a symbol of hate that many people haven't considered.
But I thought milk does a body good.
That's what the commercial says, and that's got to be right.
A racist commercial. Probably put on by the KKK.
Yeah, because they do a lot of commercials, right?
Sure they do.
You, along with the rest of the nation, have been so accustomed to hearing the benefits of milk that you probably didn't even realize the subtle racism hidden in our health facts, Diaz wrote in the piece titled Milk, New Symbol of Hate. Diaz went on to explain that the country is founded on racism and that practically every facet of government, such as voter ID laws and state testing, are rooted in racist undertones. She contended these racist roots are even attached to our federal dietary guidelines because milk is pushed by the government even though it is not beneficial to health of some minorities, she claims. Citing a Mother Jones article claiming that blacks are affected by osteoporosis at a significantly lower rate than whites, though she used the term Africans and Americans respectively, Diaz wrote that there is evidence to suggest blacks are harmed by high calcium intake. Sure. Where do you get your research from?
How many blacks in the prison system did we see guzzle milk like it was going out of freaking style?
A bunch.
Not just blacks, but everybody. They loved their freaking milk. They must be Uncle Tom's, though.
Yeah. There's a strong correlation to calcium consumption and the increased risk of prostate cancer unproportionately affecting African men. Furthermore, both black children and adults generally secrete less calcium on a daily basis than white people, making them less dependent upon milk, according to Samantha Diaz. Remember, this is a dietary guideline for Americans. I want to emphasize the last word. These guidelines are for Americans. This means they should reflect the health needs of ethnicities that make up America, which, newsflash, isn't just white people, according to Samantha Diaz. Well, I think she's severely misguided.
I think she did a little bit of acid sometime.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if goats are racist. I like goat milk. It's white.
Don't read what Dale just put on there.
I get mine later than you. So. Oh, gosh.
Where did these people turn up with these ideas?
What the hell is that?
That's a phone call.
Somebody's ringing our bell.
Go ahead, caller.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing, health class?
Hey, just reading what the stupid people are putting out there.
Well, there's plenty of them to go around.
Oh, my God, they come out of the woodwork, don't they?
Well, I'm going to change the flavor of the show a little bit.
Right.
You guys, last week, you guys had a little girl that just sang her ass off on the national anthem last week.
Yes, we did.
Well, my wife and I were at one of the local high school volleyball games last week, and they usually, before the varsity game, they play the national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were having trouble where whatever they were using to play the national anthem didn't work. And I'll be damned if the high school kids section started singing the national anthem.
Really?
And
Awesome.
then the rest of then the rest of the audience joined in. So the audience sang the national anthem.
That's impressive. That's good.
fantastic.
That's real good.
I know. When you think of little turds like the ones down in Florida who, just they can't deal with clear backpacks, that kind
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
It does you good to see that there are some kids who actually think.
Sure. Absolutely. That is fantastic.
That is pretty awesome.
And you know what else? I didn't see any sumbitch kneeling.
That's pretty awesome too.
That is fantastic.
So that was a double win there. You got the
Yeah,
audience.
I was impressed. Sometimes when you think that the kids today are just going to run us right into the freaking ground, something happens where it gives you a little bit of faith.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that to our attention
We
because
need a lot of faith, guaranteed.
if you wouldn't have called in, we'd have never known about it. Neither would our listeners. So
That's why we like
there's
all you
one other
guys,
thing, too.
especially you guys from
I
the
got
Army.
a question.
Uh-oh.
I got a question for you, Robin.
Good. I was afraid he's going to direct it to me.
Go ahead, my Air Force buddy.
No, because did you ever hear back on your application to be co-host with Rachel Maddow?
No, I'd have to get gender reassignment surgery for that.
Well, we can always start a GoFundMe page.
There you go. Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
That's hateful. You can't say that to me. That's politically incorrect.
That's right, and I always have been.
You know how sensitive he is.
That's right.
Yeah. We're all sensitive. But anyway,
It's the estrogen we get from the water bottles.
I just thought you guys could use a little good news. I mean, I told my wife, I said, I cannot believe that just happened.
That is fantastic.
You didn't happen to video it on your super smartphone, did you?
You know what? No, because I was setting my phone up before that to listen to the playoff game. I wasn't listening to it during the national anthem.
Well, that's very
Has
good.
Brother Bob called in?
Nope, haven't heard from him.
No, him last week, you this week, man. We're doing good.
Well, I think I talked to him a little bit today. He had a hard day at the office today.
I'll bet he did.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he got ridiculed pretty hard about that a couple weeks ago, didn't he?
He says they all look alike. So.
Well, Dale Frank says you can't have two dudes on the Rachel Maddow show, so I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas, I'll get off here and let you continue.
Hey, it's funny that you said he has a hard day at the office. That's
Mad cow.
That's an inside joke there.
Yeah, we're not going to put that out there. We'll leave that alone.
Jocularity.
Okay, fellas, take care.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, boy. That's probably why they don't want them drinking milk, because of the mad cow disease.
Yeah, because that'll do it.
Well, let's go with some more good news.
Okay.
From the Rust Belt. President Trump did the impossible in 2016 by breaking the so-called Rust Belt states with his winning of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. 2 years later, has voting for Trump paid off for these residents? And the numbers say yes. According to the latest economic data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the key states that swung the election in favor of Trump have already seen a steady rise in available jobs, with Ohio setting a 21-year record. CNS reports the findings that showed significant gains in those states between 2017 and 2018. The 37 states that BLS said had statistically significant jobs increase from September to September included Pennsylvania, which added 78,700 jobs, and most of the states in northern Midwest. Ohio, for example, added 104,000 jobs during the September to September period. Michigan added 63. Illinois, believe it or not, added 50,000 jobs. Wisconsin, see, we need to go red. We need to go red.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt.
Wisconsin, 41,000. Minnesota, 38. Of course, they're probably milking them badass cows up there in Wisconsin, so they're going to have to stop that.
Cheeseheads.
And Iowa added 17,000. The 104,000 jobs that Ohio added was the most it had added in any September period since 21 years ago in 1997. That year, they added 107,000 jobs. Got a few more things here, but you catch my drift as what's going on, and the coal workers and everything like that. President Trump's, he's doing it. I mean, I'm not saying he's,
he still needs to shut up and get off
well,
Twitter.
yeah, but, the economy's rolling.
Yep, and it's pretty hard, that they're worried about the midterm elections. They keep preaching about the blue wave and everything, but I'm thinking maybe not so much. Maybe not so much.
Oh, goodness.
Do you remember?
Speaking of gender reassignment
Oh,
surgery,
boy.
the new taboo. Actually, the surgeon says sex change regret is on the rise, but nobody wants to talk about it. Now, if you remember on our past shows, we've had articles from the former head of the psychology department at Johns Hopkins that said these gender reassignment surgeries and everything, transgenderism and stuff, was actually a mental disorder. And
it also said the suicide rates among these people was going up.
Absolutely. Apparently, one of the world's top here you go, Steve. Genital reconstructive surgeon says that sex change regret is on the rise. More patients are coming to him. Just asking. I'm lost now. More patients are coming to him to have their gender confirmation surgeries reversed, but that people too afraid to be politically incorrect just aren't talking about it. Professor Miroslav Yordavec, poor Yorgi, told the Canada's National Post that for the first time in his long career as a world-renowned surgeon, people who have had sex change operations are coming to him to have them reversed, a procedure that is just not expensive but very frickin' painful. I can't imagine the first one being painful.
Oh, wow.
So I won't be going on the Rachel Maddow show, let's say that.
They wouldn't take you anyway, no matter what you did. So.
Those wishing the reversal have spoken to him about crippling levels of depression
No
following
kidding.
their transition, and they say about every 10th year, every 10 years, after that, that's when it really starts setting in. He said it can be a real disaster to hear the stories, adding that many of these stories aren't being heard because the subject is considered potentially politically incorrect given the current climate surrounding issues of sex and gender. One psychotherapist, James Caspian, who specializes in transgender issues, told the Post that he wanted to publish a paper on the topic of detransitioning after meeting with Yordovic and hearing his stories, but after confirming his research plan with Bath Spa University, is that a real thing?
Oh, wow. What did you say it was? Bath Spa?
Bath Spa University.
Wow.
Submitting preliminary research was suggested. Yordovic wasn't alone in seeing an increase in detransitioning requests. Bath Spa turned down his proposal, citing ethical concerns. Imagine that. So they continue to push all of this stuff and push it, and they're pushing it on our young kids by not having them declare a gender when they're born.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy because we had that one gal talking about they can have a 4-year-old declare what gender they want to be regardless of what they actually are.
Yeah. So if I'm a millionaire, or if I want to be a millionaire, I just got to declare it. But anyway, they're doing things to their body that is not natural. Oh, boy.
I just read what Dale posted. So just go on with what you're doing. You don't want to read it.
I think I'm done.
Eddie, you're right. Obama will take credit for everything that Deacon read off there.
You didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. In one statement, he says, you didn't do that. Somebody else did that for you. And then
Sure they did.
When something good happens, he wants to take credit for it. And Nicole, you're right. That's why we have Deacon on the show. He cracks me up, too. But and Dale, I'm not even going to comment on your...
I haven't seen his comment yet.
Yeah, well, remember the Kavanaugh hearings there a couple weeks ago?
I know. I could be called Jethreen like the Beverly Hillbillies. Or Robin. Go ahead. I want to get on the show. No, I don't.
Cory Spartacus Booker, remember him during the Kavanaugh hearings? Okay, so this comes from the Washington Post, dated 9/21/18. When he's in high school, Cory Booker, the New Jersey Democrat and possible White House contender, groped his classmate as they kissed. He reached for her breast, and when she swatted his hand away, he made another attempt.
He can't do that.
Well, okay, let me go further. The incident resurfaced this week as Booker joined calls for the FBI investigation in the allegation of high school-era sexual assault leveled by Christine Blasey Ford against Brett Kavanaugh. But the skeleton in Booker's closet seized on outlets such as Fox News and the Daily Caller wasn't really in the closet. The senator himself chose years ago to air the issue, marking a notable contrast with instances in which accusations of impropriety burst forth as a result of media investigation or opposition.
Again?
No, I can't. I had trouble with the first time.
Okay.
In 1992, Booker, then a student at Stanford University, wrote a column for his college newspaper in which he recounted the groping and used his own behavior to underscore, in starkly personal terms, how his views had shifted on gender and sexual respect. He wrote it himself, so he was condemning Kavanaugh because he was accused. Because if you're accused, you're automatically guilty if you're one of Trump's people. But Booker writes that he actually did this. So how come he's not asked to step down?
Well, because,
Yeah, I know why.
Yeah.
Okay. After having my hand pushed away once, he said, I reached my mark, he wrote. Our groping ended soon, and while no relationship ensued, a friendship did. You see, the next week in school, she told me that she was drunk that night and didn't really know what she was doing. Well, if you go back to that Christine Blasey Ford's comments, She didn't remember crap.
Yeah. Speaking of Christine Blasey Ford, has anybody heard anything of her lately?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, didn't we
So-
post an article on Cory
Yes.
Booker about you got one on that too? Or I just read Dale's comment. That's why I was laughing earlier hysterically.
But wait, that's not all on Corey. Spartacus Booker.
Okay, here
Got
we
some more.
go.
After grandstanding through a Senate confirmation hearing about the evils of sexual harassment, as he sat there in high-eyed judgment on the blameless Judge Brett Kavanaugh, calling himself Spartacus for his feigned moral courage, he found himself exposed as a hypocrite as a word of the 1992 first-person essay about how he sexually harassed a woman made its way back to print. And get this.
Drum roll.
You're going to love this. An anonymous gay male stepped forward today, and I don't have a date on this, it was recently, and released a shocking description on how he was sexually assaulted by Senator Cory Booker back in
What?
2014.
Oh, he's a player.
Oh,
Both
sides,
ways.
yeah. The man claims Booker came to his workplace to speak, met him as he was coming out of the men's room, and pulled him back into the restroom and sexually assaulted him. The young man is a gay man and Democrat. The man tells a very detailed analysis of what took place at his work. So he gave a detailed analysis. Something happened 4 years ago, and Cory Booker was condemning Brett Kavanaugh for
Corey, you need to
an
step
accusation. Yeah, this comes from the American Thinker. So,
I love that side.
okay, so hypocrite. Wow, you just wrote the book on it, bud. That's pretty amazing. How can you go up there and call yourself Spartacus and
Well, you know what everybody and what these guys fail to understand is with the internet, bud, nothing is safe.
oh, absolutely not.
Nothing is safe. So you really got to watch what you say out there because it will come back to bite you in the anal cavity.
Afraid so. Afraid so. What you got over there?
Well,
Because if you don't have anything, I got a couple articles here.
go ahead, Steve. You're on a roll.
Okay. Did you see?
I'll
And
save this for next week.
no, you won't.
Yes, I will. That way I don't have to print off as much stuff.
2 Republican candidates for state office in Minnesota have been physically assaulted in recent days.
See what Stoker put there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Leading prominent Republican lawmakers to caution their Democratic colleagues against employing inflammatory rhetoric. Republican State Representative Sarah Anderson was punched in the arm last week after confronting a man who was destroying yard signs promoting Republican candidates. It was just insane. He charged me saying, "Why don't you go kill yourself?" Anderson told the Washington Free Beacon. To have someone physically come after you and attack you is disheartening. Shane Meekland, the first-time Republican candidate for state legislature, suffered a concussion over the weekend after he was sucker punched while meeting with constituents at a local restaurant. At a restaurant, not okay. It was so I was so overtaken by surprise and shock, and if this was the new norm, this is not what I signed up for. This guy says he suffered from memory loss and sensitivity to light since the incident. Local police confirmed that the suspect had been identified in connection with both assaults and said the charges were likely to be filed in coming days. Okay, so you look at these 2 GOP candidates get assaulted by obviously people from the other side, the left-wing people, but you see Maxine Waters and several of these other politicians out there saying, get in these people's faces, do what you got to do. I think Cory Booker was one of those too.
Sure it was. We had a few videos on this tonight. We obviously didn't get to them. But
No, we'll get to them.
here's what I don't understand is, okay, you've got politicians inciting violence out here. Okay, aren't politicians supposed to be like a moral compass for everybody?
Yeah, good luck with that.
But I'm saying this is wrong.
Sure.
You cannot, as a politician, stand up there and be inciting things like this. These guys need to be speaking out against this stuff.
Right. And
Speak out against Antifa. Speak out against all these people harassing people in freaking buildings. This is wrong. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
And you know what? Trump's not without some blame himself, because he's talked about this one congressman who body slammed a reporter, and he's going to pay the attorney fee for somebody who smacked somebody at his rally.
Yeah.
So he's wrong on that count too. So,
Horse face.
but so he's not calling like Maxine Waters going out there and saying go out there and create a scene. He didn't say that, but still, what he said was wrong.
I agree.
Now, Nancy Pelosi had a little problem. Was confronted by protesters in Florida on Friday, organized by local Republican chapter and local group of Proud Boys, which I had not heard of these guys till now, who shouted pro-Trump slogans and blasted the Democrat House leader as a communist.
Are they like gaylords or something?
I don't know. Video of the confrontation recorded by a member of the Proud Boys shows protesters holding signs and cursing at Pelosi as she entered a campaign event for Donna Shalala, the Democrat nominee for Florida's 27th district.
A shillelagh?
Anyway, we got the video of this, and let's take a look at this.
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, that's not it.
That's scary.
Excuse me, this is a public walkway, so. Are you blocking us in too? Excuse me, sorry, sir. I can't let you go.
Did you hear that?
Look at Nancy Pelosi right here. Look at this piece of shit right here. Look at this piece of shit Pelosi right here. Fucking communist. You don't belong here, you fucking communist. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you and your fucking Democrats. Afuera.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
But it's still wrong.
yeah, we're not Nancy Pelosi fans by any stretch of the means,
Oh,
but
no.
you know, it's stuff like this. You know, if they were just there, you know, screaming, "Hey, Miss Pelosi, you know, we don't care for the things that you're doing," you know, but this screaming and calling them, you know, the F-bomb and things like that,
It's wrong.
we don't need that.
And you know, and it's wrong on both sides. These people, these Proud Boys, never heard of them before.
Gaylords.
Shouldn't be doing this crap. You got Trump saying things he shouldn't be saying. We got Maxine Waters out there pretty much
She didn't even be opening her mouth.
promoting this stuff. It's wrong on both sides.
Well, Hillary's calling for incivility herself. So.
Exactly. And there won't be any till Democrats get elected. She said she's just as bad as anybody else.
Well, I think she's one of the worst. You know, of course, you don't want to cross her. You'll end
Oh,
up 6 foot under.
yeah,
So.
your plane will crash into a mountain.
Yes, it will.
Or you'll shoot yourself in the back of the head in the park. We're out of time.
That's amazing.
That went well.
Yes, it did.
Okay. Well, folks, remember, if you love your country, you love your freedom, thank a veteran.
Absolutely.
Thanks for turning on and tuning in.
God bless America, and thank all of you.
Absolutely. Thanks for all your texts and everything. It's pretty awesome.
You keep us in stitches.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.